10 most underrated Stephen King movie adaptations. Stephen King is one of the most celebrated authors of horror and drama novels that have been translated into some magnificent movies. His work spans over 60 novels that have been adapted by filmmakers for a wide variety of content that his work provides. In fact, some of his stories have been adapted more than once. Such was the craze for his ideas. So what is it that forms a concrete formula of success when it comes to his works? Well, for starters, the beautiful blending of reality and the paranormal work wonders to get the audience hooked on. His works have been adapted by legendary filmmakers like Stanley Kubrick, and this ensured that justice was done to his creativity. Such is the charm of his works that movies like The Shining have immortalized the horror genre. In this video, we will speak about his lesser-known works, his novel adaptations that probably deserve more attention than it received. Celebrate the best of horror drama and enjoy the following movies. Hello there, everybody! Before we get into our list, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel and clicking the little bell icon up in the corner to get notifications. This is a small click for you, but means a lot to us. Thank you, and let's begin. The Night Flier, 1997. Some strange murders in isolated rural airports create a buzz in the news fraternity. Two investigative reporters set out to unravel the mystery behind the strange serial killer. One of the reporters soon realizes that the murderer is probably a vampire who chooses his victims during his night flights at small airports. He terms the killer the Night Flier, and eventually manages to find him. What happens next is for you to find out as you check out this gem of a movie. To begin with, The Night Flier is a short story penned down by Stephen King, and so it took the expertise of the director Mark Pavin to elaborate on the plot and make it into a movie. Miguel Ferrer does a great job when it comes to portraying the character of the journalist Richard Dees, whose mannerisms are mean and rude. His co-stars, Julie Entwistle and Dwight Renfield, do a decent job. The gloomy atmosphere prevailing in this movie is magnified by the quiet musical score, gray skies, and the off-angle photography that is used to a good effect. There is a lot of blood and gore in this story, which is sure to keep you on the edge of your seats. Overall, this is a movie you cannot miss out on if you are a Stephen King fan. Maximum Overdrive, 1986. What's a Stephen King story without a creepy plot? Maximum Overdrive tells the story of a comet causing a catastrophic radiation storm on Earth. As a result, all the machines come to life. And what follows is absolute mayhem. The machines see the makers as their foes, and in this chaos, survival becomes difficult. The movie tracks down a group that tries to escape the crazy machines and homicidal trucks. Will they manage to survive the threat? The special thing about this film was that Stephen King himself had donned the director's hat. It was not rated very highly and was trashed by audiences and critics alike. But eventually, even this movie got a cult following. The movie explores the horror genre in a unique way, where the threat comes from killer road rollers, lawnmowers, and some deadly trucks. The movie is ruthless and has some gory scenes, such as the one where a steamroller crushes a little kid. The soundtrack by AC/DC is remarkable and does a world of good to the ambiance. Overall, you can watch it for the directorial adventure of Stephen King, and the movie has enough entertainment to pull you through. Apt Pupil, 1998. A young boy discovers that a Nazi war criminal is his neighbor. He then starts to blackmail the old man by making him narrate stories about the concentration camps. In return, he does not report him to the authorities. After hearing all the horrific stories, the young lad's personality starts getting affected. What happens next after their blooming friendship? We leave for you to find out. Apt Pupil is noted for some exceptional acting performances by the likes of Ian McKellen and Brad Renfro. Their chemistry as the Nazi war criminal and the young boy is phenomenal. The film offers you a good outlook on how influential and manipulative the Nazi propaganda used to be. The scenes that capture the transformation of a young boy will leave you breathless, particularly the one where he makes the old man dress up in an army outfit and march before him. The story is not the easiest to put into a movie, but the efforts of the director are praiseworthy. Watch it, because the ending is crafted differently from the book, and it will leave you spellbound.
Understand what she's doing? Can't you feel it? Don't be stupid. If we can only discuss this, please.
Firestarter, 1984. Ever wonder if medical experiments could grant someone superhuman powers? Firestarter explores the idea as a couple goes through some experiments to earn some money, and the man ends up being telekinetic, i.e., he can make people do as he wants. When they have a daughter, the young girl can start a fire just by wanting to do so. When a government organization wants to study them and then kill them, little did they know what they were up against. Besides the intriguing plot, one thing that will impress you in this movie is the music given by Tangerine Dream. The special effects that have been used are amazing, and there are times when it adds to the spook factor in the film. The acting performances are not exactly award-winning, but Drew Barrymore and George C. Scott do not disappoint. If conspiracy thrillers fascinate you, chances are that Firestarter will just be your cup of tea.
Bye-bye, boys.
The Tommyknockers, 1993. The story is creepy to the core as you can see an entire town change into mind-reading, odd gizmo-inventing slaves for some aliens. They start digging up for something in the woods. This is all the work of a buried alien craft, and only a drunken writer can see through the changes that take over the town. Can he help out his fellow citizens? Stephen King's novel is translated into an interesting TV series in this case. Some of the major characters have been reworked, and the makers did divert from the original story, but the series still manages to entertain the fans. Among the cast, particular mention must be made of alcoholic writer played by Jimmy Smits, and the beautiful Marge Helgenberger. The special effects will be better than what you would expect, and if the series was made a little shorter, it could have really struck a chord with the audiences. Dreamcatcher, 2003. What do you do if you realize that there is something terribly wrong about the place you reach for a vacation? Well, if you are anything like the protagonist in the movie, you try to save the place. Some friends figure out that some parasitic aliens are taking over the minds of the people of the town. They must stop the outbreak before it is too late, and they manage to take over the whole world. Unlike many sci-fi movies, Dreamcatcher does not depend on the special effects to do all the good work. The plot is fascinating and the acting is impressive, with the likes of Morgan Freeman and Tom Sizemore pulling off some challenging roles. The soundtracks used are favorites among many, and the overall show is sure to cast a spell over you. The story is not a scream horror, but the eerie moments surely give you the chills. On a rainy evening, you can just binge watch the series wrapped up in a blanket. Right, watching it.
Come on!
Christine, 1983. Imagine a car with an evil mind of its own. Stephen King hands you just that with his story, Christine, where a young man lends himself the creepy car. His personality starts to undergo a transformation, keeping in line with the devilish car. From a wimpy school nerd, he changes to a cocky personality. The car, named Christine, kills everyone that is a threat and a friend. Dennis and his girlfriend Leah try to save the young man from its evil clutches. Keith Gordon does a great job of portraying the dual personality young man. John Stockwell and the others support him brilliantly. The story never fizzles out in the fast-paced horror thriller. The last scene where a face-off between Christine and Leah and Dennis takes place is not for the faint-hearted. The way this paranormal car fixes its damaged spots would send shivers down your spine. John Carpenter has given us several classics with his directorial brilliance, and this movie is no exception. You cannot skip watching. The Dead Zone. The protagonist, Johnny Smith, is shown to be a simple man living a happy life. He has a mother and a fiancée and teaches science to kids in school. A sudden accident changes his life as he goes into a coma for 6 years.